Everyone, as we begin our service today, I'm going to kindly ask that we turn off or silence all cell phones, electronic devices. Thank you.
Мы собрались сегодня проводить последнюю дорогу на земле, и дорогу, которая открывается перед ним, перед Семеном, дорога в вечность. И как и все традиции на земле, иудаизм верит в бессмертие души, и когда приходит смерть, и душа отходит от тела, перед ней открывается вечность. И все эти молитвы, которые могут принести какой-то комфорт тем, кто страдает, кому сегодня больно, кто испытывает пустоту, но они также для души Семена в помощи в его ориентировании и в исцелении души тоже. О Господи, что такое человек, что Ты о нем заботишься? Человек, как улетающее дыхание. Его дни, как тень. Утром он процветает и растет, а вечером он увядает. Ты заставляешь человека раскаяться, говоришь ему, вернись к своему естеству. Ибо когда человек умирает, он ничего не может взять с собой. Даже его слава, его добрые деяния. Все остается на земле. Все человеческие жизни с их страданиями, болезнями, невзгодами, радостями. Господь освобождает души своих слуг от дальнейших страданий физического тела, и те, кто доверял жизни, не будут забыты. Адонай Мадам, Ватедаэху, Абананош, Ватехашевэху, Адам Лахэдама, Мьямав Кецеловэ. בבוקר יציץ וחלב, לערב יבלל ויבש, תשב אנוש עד דקה ותאמר. שובו בני אדם, לא חוכמו ישכין זאת, יבינו לאחריתם, כי לא במותו ייקח הכל, לא ערך אחריו כבודו. שמור תמורי ישר, כי אחרית לי שלום, פוד אדוני נפש עבדיו, ולא ישמעו כל חגשים בו. Еще один псалм, в котором в поэтической форме его создатель, великий царь, поэт и воин Давид, который увидел этот процесс отхождения души от тела, ее путешествия, и в поэтической форме описал его. «Господь пастырь мой, да не будет у меня нужды ни в чем. На пастбищах травянистых Он укладывает меня, на воды тихие приводит меня, душу мою оживляет и ведет меня путями справедливости. Даже если иду долиной смерти, не устрашусь зла, ибо Ты со мной. Пусть только благость и милость сопровождают меня все дни жизни моей, чтобы пребывать мне в доме Господнем вовеки. Мизмор ледовит, Адонай рой лехсар, мизмор дешеяр бицени, Армеменохоти дахалини, навши шове, навши шове, яни вемагли цедек, леван шемо. Gam kierech, begets almovet, lo irara, ki ataimani, shiftecha, umishantecha, hema inahamoni, hema inahamoni. Семен родился в 1939 году в городке Джетл. Это тогда была Польша, теперь Беларусь. Ему было 2 годика, когда немцы пришли в его родной город. Вся семья попала в гетто. Дедушка и бабушка были расстреляны с первой группы, кого немцы отобрали. Но отец с матерью его не сдались и прятались. Прятались сначала где-то в чердаке, и немцы стреляли, заходя в дом, но, к счастью, они все уцелели с маленьким 2-летним Семеном. Потом они бежали из гетто и прятались в лесу практически до конца, пока не пришли советские войска. Его отец Эйна был кузнецом, его знали в округе, и благодаря этому они сумели выжить, потому что он ходил по деревням, где ему давали какую-то еду. Были облавы, они должны были менять места, где они прятались, но произошло чудо, они выжили. Когда он пришел в школу, он говорил только на идиш. Он стал отличным учеником, одним из лучших учеников в этой школе. Несмотря на это, его не взяли в Минский университет, и он закончил уже потом институт заочно, работая электриком, и стал инженером, и был отличным инженером. И потом началась новая кампания против евреев, и в 80-м году семья приняла решение уехать в Америку. И сначала они попали в Делавэр, и через месяц он уже нашел работу. И были другие работы инженерные. И его и Анну связывала глубокая любовь, глубокие чувства. Для него была огромной радостью забегать вперед, доставлять ей удовольствие. И он был отличным отцом, и братом, и другом. У него было отличное чувство юмора. И когда у него начался Паркинсон, и врач выписал схему, он эту схему применял к себе и говорил, что эта схема может быть разработана на животных, поскольку он человек, он сделает правильное решение для самого себя. Когда ему было особенно плохо, Ира понимала это, потому что шли бесконечные шутки, которые он посылал ей. Шутить он любил, и поскольку он все умел делать своими руками, то одна из его шуток была, потому что нужно было объезжать очень, такой делать большой крюк, приехать по назначению. Он говорил, ну ничего, я ночью прорублю прямую дорогу, и мы можем вдвое быстрее доехать до этого. И места, где он жил, помнят работу его рук, и переделки балкона, и скамейка. И хотя он поначалу возражал появлению кота, у кота появилась его мебель, которую он очень любил. Они сумели накопить денег, купили небольшое кондо себе. К сожалению, недолго им пользовались, потому что Анна заболела. Но они успели хорошо попутешествовать по Америке. И не только как обычные туристы по разным странам, но даже он продолжил то, что он делал еще в Белоруссии, когда они брали палатку всей семьей, ночевали на природе, он очень любил природу. Ира хочет сказать несколько слов о своем отце. Пожалуйста. Вот там проще, наверное, будет. Ближе к микрофону, хорошо? Я сейчас его поставлю, так что вам будет удобно.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, we'll see how this goes. As the cantor mentioned, the more my dad felt discomfort and pain, the more he leaned toward humor, and I will try to do the same. I do want to let people know that there's a live stream so that my dad's family in Israel can watch and be here with us to a certain extent. For the folks watching, just know that I'm pretty sure he said no to this. So just as you watch, understand he's not happy about it. Also, thank you for coming so early in the morning. But I hope that you all understand that if my dad had been setting this up, it would have been even earlier. I think I was an adult before I realized that other people do not start their family vacations by getting in the car at 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought it was really strange as I ran into one person and the next and the next. I'm like, oh okay. So a few other people don't do that. There's a couple things that he always kind of said most of his life. First of all, you really can't trust doctors. They're only practicing. That was his statement. I learned from him that no is most definitely a complete sentence, and you do not have to explain yourself. And he said no a lot, mostly to doctors. When I would go to his appointments with him the last few years, and on the way to the appointment, he would already tell me everything that he would not agree to do. Before they even suggested it, there was a long list. But he did it for himself, and I know that he did this for my mother as well. There were things that doctors wanted to do, and he protected her, and he said no. You also can't trust smartphones. He told me that as well. He liked to walk, and even with Parkinson's, he walked as much as he could. Even the week that he passed, he walked. He took a mile walk, and he was always upset with his smartphone because he felt that it was not recording the mileage accurately. He's like, I'm pretty sure I walked further, and it says it was only a mile. So you can't trust those things. There is no such thing as scrap lumber. You have to keep all of it. You will find a way to use it. There were a lot of things that he wanted me to throw out, but lumber was not one of them. That with any problem can be solved with an engineering solution. It doesn't matter what the problem is. It could be a medical problem. It does not matter. There's an engineering solution to that problem. And yes, he really loved to do things and to build things. And my mom and I went to Israel for a week. And, we talked to him all the time when we were in Israel. We came home. He had repainted every single door in the house. He needed something to do, and this is what he enjoyed. As his Parkinson's progressed, sometimes when I would visit him, we really couldn't go out and do stuff. We would eat together, and we would watch TV, and sometimes it was really terrible television, because we could talk and we could eat and we really didn't have to pay attention. It was really bad. It was, we watched Lifetime movies sometimes. It was awful. But we did get a pretty good laugh from the Geico commercials. So even if the TV is bad, the commercials might be pretty good. He also felt that everything was negotiable, and I do mean everything. When I would come over and I would make dinner, and sometimes I was just heating some food up, and we would negotiate for how long to microwave stuff. I would give him a number, he would give me a different number. I would give him another number. We'd cut it somewhere in the middle. We'd hope for the best, then we'd start again. But everything was negotiable. He was still driving. Whenever he felt good, he would drive. And he would always give me directions. I'm pretty sure he has given me directions to my house from his. And there was one time a few months ago, I was driving, he wasn't feeling great, and I was driving his car, and I pulled up to an intersection, and he looked at me and he said, he actually looked at me and then he looked around at the intersection and he said, "Where are you going?" He said, "Make a right here." Okay. It was 2:00 in the morning. We were driving to the emergency room, and that's why he was sitting in the passenger seat and I was the one driving, but still, where are you going? And then the reason we were doing this is he had texted me at work, and he said, you know, I kind of lost my balance in the kitchen today, and I called him. I said, well, what happened? Did you fall on the floor? Did you hit your head? You know, you go through all of those questions. My dad would start calling me with medical questions, and my first statement would always be, do you remember paying for medical school? I am not a doctor. If you think you need medical advice, we need to go to a doctor. So then he would start telling me, he's like, I have a question. I know you're not a doctor, but you're an engineer. That should be good enough. And so he starts explaining to me how he lost his balance, and I'm asking him if he hit his head, and he said no. And he's trying to explain to me what happened in the kitchen, and then he lost his balance. And he said, but I caught myself on the counter. And he said, so I backed up, and I kind of hit the counter, but I kind of caught myself on the counter. I'm like, okay. I said, Dad, do I need to come home? Should we go to the doctor? And he said, no. What are you talking about? The counter's fine. It's granite. And that led to the 2 a.m. drive to the ER, where they found out that he had cracked some ribs. I felt like part of my job was to be his getaway driver from hospitals. We signed out against medical advice on numerous occasions, and it was my job to get him the hell out of there. I do have a little bit. It's kind of probably my first memory of my parents, and kids just remember just the weirdest stuff, and it has really stuck with me, and I think as small as it was, it made a really huge impact. My first memory of my parents is my dad wrapping a bandage around my mom's ankle. And I remember sitting, watching him and asking them what had happened. I think I must have asked it a lot because I do remember eventually somebody told me, and I actually remembered that they had gone dancing and my mom had twisted her ankle. They were dancing. But to me, that little bit, that's how you love people. You take care of them. And that has really stayed with me. Without being conscious, it's always in the back of my mind. I will certainly miss him in a million ways. Thank you. And he would also probably want to remind everybody that don't forget to vote. It was one of the first things that he and my dad did when they became citizens. It was very important to him, and just don't forget to vote. Thank you.
It's very hard to describe and talk about the whole life in a few words, but just a few words about his life. And he was only 2 when Nazi Germans came to his native town and organized ghetto. And even grandparents been shot as the first group of people. They starting to shoot. His parents refused to be killed and were hiding in the attic and then in a forest for the rest of the war, being able to survive, which was a miracle, of course. And he was also stubborn, like his parents. As Irene said, wonderfully, no was the answer in the full sentence without needed to explain. And the life was hard, and he was excellent student. In spite of that, wasn't refused in Minsk University. And Soviet power was better than Germans, Nazis, but still had codes for Jews and persecute them the way how they can. And but he was able to still to get diploma of engineer eventually while working as electrician. And in 1980 they decided that's enough, and they left Soviet Union. They came to America, found a job in a month. And he had not only wonderful independent mind, but great hands as well. Could make everything with his hands. He loved to do something with his hands. Always been busy making something. Being a wonderful, loving husband, great dad, great example for his children. And I'm sure that you have so many wonderful memories of him that will be the inheritance, his inheritance. And as the 4th commandment says, the blessings of our parents go to the 1,000 generations. And I'm sure his life is a blessing for you, as for many other people. And before we'll continue the service in the cemetery, please rise for the closing prayer, which according to the tradition is a guide, like a guide for the soul. שוכן במרומים, המשמנו הנכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, עם קדושים זכרים, כזוכר הרקיע המסעירים. את נשמות סמיון בן עינה וגיטל, האיש הברוך צדיקים, שהלכה לעולמו ברחמים הרחמים. ישתירך ובסתר כנפיו לעולמים, וישרור בישרו החיים את נשמתו. אדוני הוא נחלתו, וינוח בשלום על משכבו. ונאמר Амен. О Боже, полный милосердия, надели вечностью душу Семена, окружи его своим светом и своей любовью, и позволим упокоиться в мире. И давайте все вместе скажем «Амен». Я прошу вас сесть. Мизмор Давид, Адонай рой лехсар, Вино дэше ярбицени, Армеменоти нахарини, Nafshi shove, nafshi shove, Yanei v'maglet tzedek, lemay